Behemoth Typhoon inputs containing 8 without jumping are technically possible raw, even the ones starting with 8, but you must cleanly input the Behemoth Typhoon within the 5 frames of pre-jump lag, which is quite difficult. So we're going to look at some ways to make it easier. Canceling off a normal, buffering during a whiff or another Behemoth Typhoon, and using Faultless Defense. These all work by essentially buying you extra time before the jump to allow you to input the Behemoth Typhoon containing 8 without fear. The easiest is probably canceling off a normal move. Just input the move and immediately do your Behemoth Typhoon input, holding the final direction and timing the H press with when the normal hits. With faster normals, you might find yourself just trying to do the entire input and press H as fast as possible. The move will seamlessly cancel into the Behemoth Typhoon you wanted after it hits or gets blocked. If buffering off another Behemoth Typhoon, it's slightly harder but still perfectly reasonable. After inputting the previous Behemoth Typhoon, do the motion for the one you want next so that you reach and hold the final direction. Then, try to time your H press with when the previous Behemoth Typhoon completes its arc. You can start mashing H here if you think it helps, as long as you are still holding the final direction of the Behemoth Typhoon you want next. If you don't get the Behemoth Typhoon, then your H timing might be off, or you might be inputting the motion for the Behemoth Typhoon too quickly. Buffering off a whiff works similarly to buffering off Behemoth Typhoon. You press the button you want to whiff and try to time the H press with the end of the whiffed move's animation. You're probably going to want 2p or 5p as your whiffed move because they're his fastest, allowing you to get your meaty Behemoth Typhoon on Oki without jumping. Again, if you don't get the Behemoth Typhoon, your timing might be off. Faultless Defense delays your jump, allowing more time to get a Behemoth Typhoon without jumping. This is the fastest of the methods we've discussed, but also the tightest timing-wise. Simply input back with any 2 non-dust attack buttons, then input your Behemoth Typhoon. Getting these Behemoth Typhoons without jumping is super useful because Gold Lewis Behemoth Typhoons lose a lot of their special properties in the air. For example, 842H is no longer a low. Buffering off a whiff or your FD are particularly useful because you don't have to worry about pushback from a previous move altering your combo route. For example, landing a raw 842H on Oki in the corner leaves you close enough to dash close S into a strong wall break route. Meanwhile, trying to combo off a block normal is much more difficult. Comboing may even be impossible at some spacings where raw 842H would lead into a combo. Finally, being able to do a Behemoth Typhoon off FD allows you to use these Behemoth Typhoons in combos where there's a gap between your moves and you are unable to use a previous move to buffer your 8 Behemoth Typhoon. In this example, you can't buffer 486H off counter hit 268H or it will whiff, so you have to delay it. FD can provide some extra insurance against accidentally jumping while you try to hit your delayed 486H.